I've been into gambling for a very long time now, and I'll tell you straight, online gambling is quite tricky. You never really know exactly who you're trusting with your money, or who's behind the shiny new site you've stumbled upon. I've personally come across fraudulent casinos that simply refuse to pay out winnings, or even blocked accounts without any explanation. That's why, after a few painful lessons, I've clearly defined a verification checklist for myself. What to look for, how to analyze information, and ultimately how to decide whether a casino deserves my trust and money. Today, we're going to apply this exact checklist to examine RocketPlay Casino, which has recently been popping up quite frequently online. We'll thoroughly check everything from licensing and deposit security to game fairness and withdrawal speeds. By the end, we'll have a clear picture of whether RocketPlay is worth our attention or if we should avoid it altogether. So, let's start the review right now. First things first, let's check if RocketPlay has a license and who is actually behind this casino. Without diving too deeply into the web, I quickly found out that RocketPlay has been operating since 2020. In practice, this alone already gives a basic indication that the site is likely trustworthy, since typical scam projects usually don't even last a year, whereas this one has survived 5 already. However, I obviously won't jump to conclusions based solely on the age of the website. That would be pretty foolish of me, so I dug a little bit deeper. The operator behind RocketPlay is Dama NV, a reputable company that also owns several other casinos I've personally tested and verified. It's registered in Curacao, and the license is also from Curacao, which is essentially the industry standard for most reputable online casinos. For us as players, this means one thing: winnings will certainly be paid out, and we won't face any issues with regulatory authorities accusing us of illegal gambling activities because the site is licensed and thus pays taxes. Honestly, everything seems promising so far, but a license is one thing. Actual gameplay experience is quite another. So now, let's dive deeper and see how things really work in practice, and find out whether player complaints online about canceled withdrawals, payout fairness, lagging slots, and other issues have any merit. I'll register, check the bonuses, make a deposit, play a bit, and of course, attempt to withdraw any winnings, if I'm lucky enough to hit any, that is. By the way, before we dive deeper, I'd like to briefly touch on the site's design. No, it's nothing particularly unique or outstanding, it's pretty standard. But the fact that it has a dark theme is a huge plus because, as I always say, playing at night with a bright white site is pure torture. Your eyes practically melt. From a technical standpoint, RocketPlay is straightforward and user-friendly without unnecessary complexity. However, during my 3 days of playing here, I did encounter some technical issues affecting the gameplay, which I'll discuss shortly. On the other hand, navigation here is surprisingly good. You can easily find any section or game within just a few clicks. There's also a dedicated mobile app that can be downloaded directly from the website. I'll test this app further along with the site's mobile version separately. Now, let's quickly check out the bonuses, and then we'll move on to testing the slots to see if their RTP actually matches what's advertised, or if it's just pretty numbers designed to lure you in. So about the bonuses, here's what RocketPlay offers. There are 2 particularly appealing bonuses: a 100% match up to $1,000 on your first deposit, plus 100 free spins, and a 200% match up to $1,000 on your second deposit. You can see the rest of the available offers on your screen now. To be honest, these bonuses are genuinely decent. Of course, they're not perfect. I've certainly seen better, but they're not bad either. Solid middle ground, I'd say. Now, personally, however, I rarely take bonuses because I don't like being trapped by wagering requirements, which here, by the way, is times 40, and free spins with tiny stakes. I prefer playing big, aiming for substantial wins, so I generally ignore bonus offers. But if you're a more cautious player than me, these bonuses might very well interest you. All right, enough theory. It's time to register and play. Registering at RocketPlay is simple, quick, and modern. Just enter your email, create a password, choose a currency, confirm your email or phone number, then fill out some basic information, your first and last name, country, and address. That's it. No unnecessary checks or documents. The entire process takes less than a minute, and right afterward, you can deposit, minimum is just $20, and start playing. I personally deposited $500 from my bank card, which appeared on my account balance in under a minute. By the way, here are the payment methods available, including most popular cryptocurrencies. First, hassle-free, just the way it should be when you're eager to start playing immediately. Now, on to the games. RocketPlay offers over 3,000 slots from renowned providers like Pragmatic Play, Booming Gaming, Yggdrasil, and others. Here's the complete list of providers and games. By the way, Look at these slot filters. They even separate games by volatility, low and high. Themes like Egyptian, fruit slots, crash games, and even crypto-specific games. Damn, that's genuinely impressive because this type of filtering is sorely lacking on many other sites. Without knowing exactly what kind of slot you're playing, it can be tough to immediately decide on a strategy, often resulting in wasting your entire deposit just testing games. But here, you get a pretty clear idea of what to expect right away. Awesome, right? They also have live casino, roulette, baccarat, poker, basically something for everyone. Still, I'm more of a slots fan, so that's exactly what I'm gonna play now. Let's roll. So I kicked off my gaming session at this casino with a somewhat unconventional, but in my opinion, fair method for a video review. Instead of picking a particular slot, I chose a random one, thanks to the site's handy random game feature. This approach ensures we get a truly transparent and realistic impression of the slot's payouts. So, the randomizer handed me this slot, Fruit Vegas Extreme times 125. Honestly, I've never played this one before, and fruity themes aren't exactly my cup of tea either, but since it's for you guys, let's dive in. To keep things concise, I'll briefly summarize how each slot performed, highlighting notable points and outcomes. With Fruit Vegas Extreme, nothing extraordinary happened. As mentioned, my starting balance was $500 with initial bets of $2, later increased to $5. In short, this slot didn't yield anything spectacular, and by the end of the session, my balance remained basically unchanged from where it started. Still, playing a slot for an extended period without losing money isn't bad at all. So let's move on to the next random game. This time, the randomizer suggested Money Pot, another game I'd never encountered. There isn't much to say about this one either. My balance again stayed roughly the same, with only a modest gain of about $30. Slow and steady wins the race, I suppose. So, at least we're slightly ahead. After a few randomly selected games, I'll be honest, this wasn't quite the thrill I was looking for. Sure, these slots didn't devour my deposit, and that's already a win, but they weren't exactly paying out either. And damn, I like winning. So, I decided to take matters into my own hands and went with something familiar. This is where things started to heat up. I jumped into Sweet Bonanza betting at $3 per spin, using manual turbo spins as usual for this game. Shortly afterward, I activated the enhanced bonus chance option, but my balance wasn't looking great at first. It wasn't plunging dramatically, but small wins scattered here and there weren't enough. After about 15 minutes, I was down roughly $200, which admittedly was a bit demoralizing, but I knew exactly what I was getting into. After all, Sweet Bonanza is about bonus rounds, not base spins. So I decided to buy my first bonus for $40. The result was promising. It paid double its cost, and I started clawing back a bit. Feeling hopeful, I grabbed another bonus, this time for $100. A frustrating series of empty multipliers followed, topped off by a heartbreaking empty times 50 bomb at the end. Ultimately, this bonus paid out $97, almost breaking even. Despite that empty times 50 multiplier being a tease, I took it as a strong sign that a big win might be close, prompting me to buy another bonus round. And guess what? My intuition didn't fail me. This bonus actually turned a profit, slightly above the purchase price, though another empty times 50 multiplier appeared at the very end. That was it. Two massive multipliers dropping in succession had to mean something, right? I had to go for another one. And yes, this was it. A times 100 bomb finally landed. Okay, it didn't create a massive hit, but the resulting $376 win comfortably covered my previous losses. Additional smaller hits followed, ending the bonus round at 4 times the bonus cost, meaning a nice $400 profit, bringing my balance up to $700. Very nice indeed. Very nice. So far, everything is going great. What can we conclude at this point? Clearly, there's nothing wrong with the RTP here. The slots do indeed let you win, which is the most important part. Of course, you can't always come out ahead, but that's gambling. What else would you expect? All right, we've checked out the desktop version. Now, let's spin a bit from the phone and see how well the mobile website and app work. As much as I enjoy sipping whiskey at night while spinning on my laptop, playing from my phone while lounging in bed or even in the bathroom is equally enjoyable. It's genuinely convenient, so let's check it out. Here's how RocketPlay's mobile site looks. Honestly, nothing unusual. Everything works exactly as it should. Smooth performance, intuitive navigation, neatly organized elements. At this moment, I don't really have any complaints, but there's also the mobile app, so let's quickly check that out too. Here's a convenient button to download it. Ready to see the mobile app? Well, Guess what? You've already seen it. Yep, it looks absolutely identical to the regular mobile site. Essentially, the app is just a shortcut that opens the mobile website directly. But the real absurdity here isn't even that. It's the fact that when you open this very app, you still see a banner prompting you to download the mobile app. This is completely absurd and reflects poorly on either the designers or the testers. I don't know who's responsible, and honestly, I don't care. I'm just drawing conclusions. Anyway, enough about that. Ultimately, what matters is not the aesthetics or logic of the site, but the gameplay and payout quality. So let's keep going. Obviously, the first slot I want to test here is from Pragmatic Play. What can I say? I just really love this provider. Specifically, we'll play Sugar Rush. The approach is straightforward. I did a few manual spins first to warm up the slot, then quickly jumped into buying bonus rounds. Initially, I bought a few $200 bonuses, but they turned out to be unprofitable. With only $400 left in my balance, without much hesitation, I went all in. One bonus round for my entire remaining balance. Well, we're about to find out if this casino is a scam or not, so what can I say here? The bonus starts, my balance is down to less than $10, and the spins initially pay almost nothing. I'm growing desperate as the remaining spins decrease, but suddenly, boom. Pink candies set the stage, orange hearts give my balance a huge boost, and purple beans absolutely make my night. Double my deposit. Not exactly a jackpot, but definitely enough to confirm that this casino pays out. Slot payouts are reliable here. That's a fact. But of course, I wouldn't be me if I didn't test at least one more slot to round out my balance nicely and evenly to a perfect $1,000. After all, I'm a damn perfectionist. I didn't pick a specific slot this time. Instead, I randomly selected a provider and then randomly selected a game. And right in front of me appeared a slot I've definitely never played, Book of Dragon. I liked its artwork and I'm quite fond of the Book of theme in general, so let's see how this one plays out. In short, I set my bet to $5 and right off the bat, on my very first spin, boom, plus $55. Done. Mission accomplished. I'd reached the $1,000 mark. Time to leave. But of course, I didn't. That's my eternal damn problem. Seeing the slot was paying, I couldn't resist spinning some more, hoping for a miracle. But as you probably guessed already, no miracle happened. And worse, it wasn't even my fault. The slot started glitching, showing error messages, and eventually just crashed altogether. First, I bought a bonus at a $1 bet. It ran fine, but the bonus itself was absurdly poor, giving just $3 back. Then, hoping to make it up, I immediately went for another bonus, but it wouldn't even launch, claiming my bet was suddenly too high for the bonus round. How's that even possible? How can they limit a player's bet at such a critical moment? That's not okay. Absolutely not okay. And that's why I decided to end my gaming session there. With this issue, I immediately turned to customer support. I clearly explained the problem, sent them screenshots via email, and to my surprise, it actually worked out pretty well. Honestly, I seriously doubt the support managers recognized me from my channel and decided to help based on that. Instead, they calmly explained that the reason behind the issue, most likely, it was simply good timing or competent support managers. Maybe the negative comments I'd seen about their customer service were just competitors' attempts at sabotage. It's quite common in this industry. All I can say is that in my case, the support clearly explained everything, assisted me promptly, and even gave me some helpful advice. If I wanted to withdraw my winnings quickly, it would be best to do it between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. since withdrawals outside these hours might be delayed due to banking hours and payment processing issues. This is fairly obvious information to experienced players, but I appreciated that they proactively offered such practical advice, especially since they didn't know me at all. Personally, I'm satisfied with the support here. I'd be really interested to read your comments below if you've had experience interacting with support at RocketPlay. Let me know how it went. Did they solve your issues or not? Finally, following the advice from customer support, I proceeded to initiate a withdrawal. RocketPlay offers all popular payment methods, bank cards, e-wallets like Interact, Skrill, Neteller, and EcoPays, and of course, cryptocurrencies. The minimum withdrawal limit here is quite reasonable, just about $20 to $30 depending on the chosen method. I opted for a classic approach, withdrawal to a bank card, as it's among the most common methods worldwide, making it universally relevant for players from various countries. Besides, it's the same card I initially deposited from, so hopefully there won't be any issues. Casinos really dislike when the deposit and the withdrawal methods differ, as this might lead to withdrawal rejections due to anti-money laundering policies. Keep that in mind, as ignorance of such rules often leads to comments like, "They declined my withdrawal, the casino's a scam," and so forth. So, crossing my fingers, I initially requested a small withdrawal of $50 as a test to verify whether withdrawals actually work here. After placing my request, I waited 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, half an hour, an hour and a half, and I started thinking, okay, my winnings are probably gone. But just after 2 hours, to my surprise, the money finally landed in my account. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to verify. Still, I reached out to support again to clarify why it took so long. They openly explained that smaller amounts from about $20 to $50 usually take longer because financial institutions or monitoring teams don't prioritize small transactions. However, larger withdrawals around $200 and up typically get processed much faster. What else could I do? I decided to withdraw the remaining amount of nearly $800, and guess what happened? No, the money didn't arrive quicker. It took roughly the same 2 hours. But the important thing here is that the withdrawal did actually work. Thus, we've addressed the main concerns of this video: slot payout fairness and withdrawal reliability. Clearly, both are solid here. In conclusion, what's the final verdict about RocketPlay? Simply put, yes, this casino is definitely worth your attention. It might not reinvent the wheel, and sure, it does have some technical glitches with slots breaking occasionally, and sometimes certain games won't even accept my currency. Yes, these issues exist, and in a way, player comments about lagging slots on forums were confirmed. But honestly, these are minor annoyances. Why? Because you might never even play these problematic slots. They're so obscure and unpopular that their presence or absence won't affect your gaming experience at all. You saw firsthand. When I stuck with reputable games from reliable providers, the outcomes were positive. But once you give a chance to lesser-known providers, well, you saw the results: glitches, bugs, and frustration. Is that really necessary? Exactly. Stick to proven games. And yes, even those won't guarantee constant winnings. That's gambling after all. But the essential thing here is that the RTP is fair and withdrawals work smoothly without issues with banks or authorities. That's the key feature of a trustworthy online casino. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors. Personally, I'll probably keep coming back occasionally to participate in an interesting tournament here and there, just as long as it's not on some glitchy slot. But you decide for yourselves. I'm not pushing anyone towards anything. Everyone makes their own choices. My job was just to show you transparently what this casino is truly like, and I think I managed that well. If you've played here yourself, share your experience in the comments. It'll be helpful and interesting for other players to read your perspective. By the way, if this review was helpful but you're still looking for another casino, follow the link under this video or search for our site's name online. There you'll find detailed reviews of the best trusted online casinos, all thoroughly tested by professional gamblers. Additionally, the site hosts numerous profitable slot strategies, fresh gambling news, and exclusive bonus offers that will significantly enhance your gaming results. Subscribe to the channel for more high-quality reviews, hit the like button if you found the video useful, and don't forget to watch the next video waiting for you right here. Play responsibly, but with passion.